Inspired Intentions listeners, welcome back again today. A conversation queued up for you guys that I don't think that we've really had before quite in this manner, and it was a little unexpected. I have Dave here in the booth with me. Dave, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you coming on. And what I mean by unplanned is we plan to have a third person here with us, and I'm so sad that she couldn't be here with us.
Yeah, unfortunately, my wife, Lisa, was feeling a little under the weather this morning.
Yeah, we were going to have a conversation with Dave and his wife, Lisa. And Lisa is, Dave, I don't know if you know this, Lisa's one of my favorite archers that I've got to shoot with. She's a stick. She's so good. And I was gonna embarrass her live on air with that, but I'll just have to save it for another time. But we were going to have a conversation all about how you two have been so good about working on and taking care of yourselves as a couple. And we're still going to talk about that a little bit today.
Okay, great.
But being that it's just the guys in here today, which is unusual, we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna chat with Dave about his experience here at Skyterra, how I think that Lisa convinced him to come here, and from what we were speaking about before, how much you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I can say Skyterra here has been great for me personally. If I can say one thing to the men out there, this is something you really need to consider, especially if you're doing it as a couple. But even if you're a single man, the things you'll learn here and the way you can tweak your health and tweak your programs and all that is just incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely for everybody, and I always thoroughly enjoy it when we have a decent big group of guys here.
Yeah, Lisa and I started our journey probably about 15 years ago. I had a massive heart attack at about 45 years old, and that got us thinking, okay, we need to start looking at how we're taking care of ourselves,
Sure.
What we're eating, what we're doing for exercise and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of the journey.
Do you remember when Lisa first came to Skyterra?
I do. That was a whole nother scenario. On that journey that we started down, we got ourselves a naturopathic doctor,
Okay.
and we started looking at our blood work. So we do like a full Cleveland panel, and then we look at nutrient levels and things like that. And Lisa's, her report came back not so good. As a matter of fact, she had a lot of indicators of potential stroke. So
Wow.
we talked, and I said, let's look for a health retreat that you can go to and get a reset. So that's kind of where we started looking around on the internet. Lisa looked at 3 or 4 different places, and then this one seemed to bring to the table everything she was looking for,
Including
which was
archery.
Great. Yeah, that's funny you say that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. You got her addicted, Alan, to archery. I'm not going to lie.
Good. So this was how many years ago, did you say?
So Lisa came in 2023 for the month of December. And we chose that month because it was slow for business for me, and it was convenient for the family because we could finagle around the holidays and make that work.
Gotcha. But you said that you had started kind of this journey since your heart attack 15 years ago?
Yeah, so we had, to give you just a little background, I started working out when I was 16. My dad was a Marine, and so he was really pushing me to get in shape. And, my dad was a John Wayne generation guy, and that really rubbed off on me. So, I tried to take care of myself to a level, but maybe the exercising was good. It probably could have been better, and I've learned that now.
Mm-hmm. But
the real thing was we never tied in the rest of it. There was no talk about diet. There was no talk about other various things to help your health. So throughout my life, I worked out, and then when I married Lisa, we used to go to the YMCA there in the town we lived in, and we just were kind of doing it maybe 2-3 days a week without not a lot of knowledge, just going there trying to work out just to stay in some kind of decent shape. And then, over time, we got married and we had the children. And once you start having children, that changes everything. It changes my time.
I'm sure.
That I have allowed to go and exercise or do whatever. And then it also changes my wife because she's got to take care of the children. It changes their body.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of things happen through life. And then you go, next thing you know, 10 years has gone by and you haven't really stayed with the program.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the story of a lot of people here I would assume that most people who come here have had some fitness mind of some sort. But the real question is, how locked in are you, and what are the missing pieces of the puzzle? Because there's always more we can learn. There's more things we can do better that'll make us healthier and keep us healthier. So what Skyterra did for me, and I hope I'm not going off subject here, but
No, before you hop there, I want to backtrack to one thing that you said that I think is important, and we kind of talked about it a little bit right before we hopped on. You mentioned the John Wayne generation. Could you tell our listeners kind of what you mean by that?
well, John Wayne was a guy who, his character, he sacrificed, for his family. He worked hard. He focused. He got the job done. And he didn't complain. He would sacrifice whatever was necessary to try to get things done for his purposes. And that definitely has been my mindset for a long time. And a lot of us men, I think that way too.
Yeah.
We go out in the workforce, we work our tails off. We work long hours. We start to eat maybe some things we ought not to, and we really don't take the time to focus on our own personal health, not just physical, but our mental health too. That's why a lot of guys, they consume alcohol or whatever else because they're looking for a way to get a relief from all the pressure. And we put ourselves under a lot of pressure in this society. It's not easy to manage your family and support your family and try to get ahead so you can, be looking into the future as far as your family goes.
Of course.
So yeah, the John Wayne generation is really the mindset in my mind is you do what you have to do for your family.
A lot of sacrifice there.
Yep, absolutely.
I'll say, we're probably majority ladies that come through Skyterra, but the guys that we have that do come through, I will say, kind of fit this area, this description that you're talking about.
Sure. Yeah. And I've run into a few of them, and yeah, it's true. This is a great place for a man to really, get a great workout. I mean, your team here does a fantastic job of giving you what you need physically, and then learning the best ways to work out and to make sure things are going right and proper. For example, your form is correct. Because one thing that I've learned while I'm here is some of these exercises I've been doing, I could do a lot better without hurting myself if I understood the proper form.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us will watch a YouTube video or we'll go to the gym and see other guys doing it, and we try to duplicate it. And that doesn't work. Because I have injured myself several times. Shoulder injuries, knee injuries, back injuries, not all related to being at the gym, but a lot of it, yes, and a lot of it from overworking or not knowing proper form, and then just continuing to work that same form and agitating the muscle and then eventually tearing it, and now you got a major surgery, and on it goes. And that costs you time, costs you money.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't get back in the gym.
No.
Can't take care of yourself. Yeah.
Exactly.
Makes it harder to take care of the family.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's costly. Most of us have big deductibles in our insurances, so you can add that to the equation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, you are talking in a way right now, at least about Skyterra in such a kind of endearing way. And did you feel this way when Lisa was trying to convince you to come for the first time? Because she came several times before you did. She was here for, I think, a month, right? And then I think she came one more time, and we were shooting arrows together. And she said, "I'm bringing my husband next time."
Yeah.
And I don't know if when we were having that conversation, if you had already been talked to about it or if she had just made that decision. But were you hesitant at first, or did you dive all in knowing just based off of what she said? Or
That's a really good question. So I came when she came in 2024 of December. I flew in the last day so I could drive home with her because I just missed her so much. That's a long time to be away from your wife for 30 days. And I got a chance to see this place.
Yeah.
And I got a good impression, but I'm not going to lie. Part of me was like, okay, this could be like maybe a little bit of a fat camp for women. You know what I'm saying? And then Lisa brought home the paperwork and the educational things. And I started digesting those, and I'm going, okay, this makes sense. For example, we changed up how we do our sleep, what's called sleep hygiene.
Yeah.
In other words, what are you doing to making sure you're getting a good night's rest? Because rest is the number one thing on the list. So things like noise and light and whatnot. Lisa started incorporating those things, and I noticed they started working almost to the point now where I don't need an alarm clock. I literally,
Yeah.
my circadian rhythm, which that was a interesting word to learn about. My circadian rhythm is so in tune now. I can wake up and go, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's literally 6 o'clock in the morning, which is cool.
It is.
And so the other part of it too is I really did want to do this with my wife because I want to do this as a couple. We want to support one another. I want to know what she's into, and I'm into the fitness thing too. Now, what I would say to men out there who maybe aren't necessarily big on fitness, but they know they need to be, I would highly, highly recommend you check this place out, because it's not just you're going to come and work out. You're going to lose a few pounds of fat maybe and gain some muscle. It's the mentality. It's the mindset that you'll get from this and the educational side.
Those things are a byproduct of the mindset and the education.
Thank you. That's probably a good way to say that. Yeah, the follow through that you'll be able to have when you get home and all that comes from what you learn here educationally and how you can set that up for yourself for success.
So it sounds like you were hesitant, but quickly realized this was something that you maybe knew that you needed, but also something that you could enjoy doing.
Yes, absolutely. And, you think about, okay, we're going to sit down and we're going to formulate our plan, our vacation time and whatnot. You only have so much time and you only have so much money.
Yeah.
And so when you start talking about, okay, we're going to do this so that we can actually enjoy our time together, which is one thing that's beautiful about this place. The cabins are great, so the accommodations are awesome. This is a beautiful, beautiful area. There's a million things you can do for hiking, and not just the workouts, but the hiking and the sightseeing and other things like that. So you can have a real good time as a couple, but also we're encouraging one another. So she's pushing me, I'm pushing her. When we get back, when we had left here in September, I came with her for 2 weeks in September, and we got home, and it was like, okay, what do we do from here? How are we going to make this work? So it's been 3 months. This is December when we're doing this podcast here, and we just were able, because we worked together, we're able to put together a plan, like a meal plan, an exercise plan, all these things. So we've literally been able to sustain everything we've learned here for this past quarter.
And so you're saying basically from your last stay, which was, how long did you guys stay? 2 weeks?
We stayed 2 weeks.
Last time to this time, you've been able to incorporate a lot of those things successfully.
I would say we've been able to incorporate over 95% of it.
As a couple.
As a couple.
I have an interesting question for you. Do you feel that it would have been the same if it was just you solo or just her solo? Or do you think the couple aspect has really helped you?
It's huge.
Yeah.
Because think of it this way. If she came home and I'm sitting around doing my thing and I'm not encouraging her when she's having whether struggles or ups and downs or temptations to eat this or do that, it would be difficult.
Yeah.
It'd be really difficult. And so with us doing it together, it's huge. Because I feel like it draws us closer together as a couple, and it gives us a vision. We have a vision of what we want to do, what we want to accomplish, and we're accomplishing it, which is awesome.
As somebody that's going to be getting married, this upcoming year, it's something that I've thought a lot about, even in just doing wedding planning, is like the buy-in from your partner is so incredibly important on the things that you care about and the ideas that you have. It's so important. And if you don't have that buy-in, I could imagine how much less successful you could be. But you said something interesting as well, that you said that it strengthened your relationship.
Absolutely.
You didn't say it quite like that, but that's basically what you meant?
100%.
Okay.
And
tell me more about
for
that.
A couple of factors. First of all, being together for 2 weeks. So here's something me and my wife realized. We got married. We've been married 26 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And we had never, outside of our honeymoon, we had never taken a vacation alone without the family because we had kids. We had adopted a child when we were 1 year into our marriage, and then so we had that going on, and then we started having kids, and then we adopted another baby, And so we've just been focused around the family. So for us to get away, the two of us, and just get more reacquainted with one another was absolutely amazing. And then on top of that, now we come home and we're both working together,
Yeah.
as a team. So when you say buy-in, that's absolutely critical. You could have a a marriage that could really struggle if the two of you don't have the same goals and the same outlook on life.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I hear it often, especially there's a certain class where we're talking about actions that you might want to take home, like things that you want to focus on is what we call your non-negotiables. And I often hear, like, at the end, like, I'll be like, all right, guys, how do you feel? Like, what do you think of this process? You feel good about it? And, somebody will be like, yeah, I feel really good about it. And now it's just about getting my such and such to do it with me, or making sure that my such and such holds me accountable or whatever. And that aspect is like, you can always tell it's kind of rolling around in the back of people's heads. So I can imagine having that already out of the way, doing this with Lisa and knowing how invested the both of you are, sets you guys up for great success.
100%. 100%. And, once again, what we're able to do when we got home was set together our meal plan, which is big because, especially for me for lunches, I need to know how am I going to keep myself eating what's right at lunchtime.
Yeah.
And then the Metabo walk, doing that walk after you eat. So I even got my the company I own, I have a general manager who works for me, and him and I started doing the walk. So we would sit down and have lunch, and then we would walk.
Nice.
If I'm out at an account somewhere and I take a client out to lunch after we part ways, I go take a walk.
Yeah.
So even if it's just 10 minutes, and that's something I learned here. I never even knew these things till I came here and how important they were. You could get into probably the more technical side, Alan, of what happens with the Metabo walk, but from my understanding, you change your whole blood glucose, your whole digestive system gets working faster. You're sending more blood to your stomach, and I can't even tell you how many meals before this I'd eat a big meal and just sit down.
Yeah. You feel stuffed.
And really feel like I'm going to take a nap.
Yeah.
And how good was that for me? No good.
Yeah. And the also the benefits of doing one in the morning after breakfast, right?
Yeah, every meal
helps set that circadian rhythm with the sunlight and all that.
Yeah, that's true, and that's something else I never realized. The light, having the sun in your eyes in the morning, and then shutting down the you'd have the red light, the sunset, we'll say, at night, but also shutting off technology. And things for your sleep hygiene. These are just things that maybe you knew it in the back of your head. You had an idea. Your gut told you, so to speak.
Yeah.
But until you see it on paper, you're not really sure. Do I need to do this? Do I want to do this? What's the benefit of doing this? But when you see it on paper and then you experience it, it really makes you think. You go, okay, this works. And this is, hey, I feel better. And I'm feeling better every day, which is huge. That's the whole reason I came.
Yeah.
Was that I feel better.
It sounds like you really, really invested in the educational side of this experience.
Absolutely. And I don't see how you could separate the two between the actual physical work, which is great, and not have the mindset with it. I don't think you can separate the two personally.
Tell me more about that.
Well, once again, the workouts are very well, we'll say, use the term choreographed, if you will. They're thought out. They know what they're trying to impact and what they're trying to accomplish. But then, having the mindset of how you're going to do this, past this, how you're going to enhance your workout with your nutrition, okay, with your sleep, with other things that you need to do. How to realize that there's stressors in your life. These are one of the classes that I took here, talking about managing stress. For us men, that's huge. Another good one I really liked was boundaries. Okay, how do you set boundaries? There may be things or people or whatever in your life that are literally hindering you from getting your goals done. All of us who've raised children, when they get the teen years, the early 20 years, you can be pulling your hair out with all these scenarios that can come up with your kids, and knowing how to manage that and to make sure that you're keeping a healthy mindset, and you're knowing how to manage things and set the boundaries and not let people get to you.
Yeah.
That's really big too, because that ties into all of it, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because your stress is, one thing my naturopathic doctor told me was that you can actually have a really bad diet and be healthier if you had a good diet and had high stress. So let me say that again. My naturopathic doctor basically said that if you have a horrible diet and low stress, you're better off than a good diet and bad stress or heavy stress.
Plays a huge role.
It really does.
I know you've done a couple of embodies with us, and that visceral fat level is so linked to stress.
Yep.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, and the embody is a whole nother discussion, right? This is something that is really neat that they do here. You come in and they scan your body. They look at your muscle mass, your fat content in your body. They look at where you kind of stand as far as where your body's balanced out, and then you can set a plan.
Yeah, it's take it or leave it. You don't have to do it, but for those people that do, I feel like they find it interesting and useful information if you're looking at like a long-term plan.
Absolutely, and at the end of the day, knowing what's going on, with your body is important because it's data. How do you make decisions without data?
Yeah.
You can guess your way through it, and sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not, right?
Yeah.
And as far as the embodies go, that's something that I started doing before we came here. So my naturopathic doctor had me and Lisa doing them about once a year. And it's funny, I went back and looked at my graph, the chart, and there was a time when I weighed almost 250 pounds. And now I came in this time around, I weigh 202. So I dropped 48 pounds in about 3 years.
That's incredible.
But that took knowledge, and it took, really committing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is where Skyterra, for me personally, helped me put the pieces of the puzzle together. I had a lot of pieces, okay, and I'm trying to make sense of them. And Skyterra, with the education and then the application, is what helped me put it all together.
And tell me more about the application in this 3-month period, because it's interesting. I don't. It's not like a test, because you didn't know we were going to talk about this 3 months ago. But like when you guys left, what you were able to apply over the past 3 months, and what that application looked like at home with the two of you.
Right, and I think all people are at different levels, Alan. So
Sure.
maybe you've never really applied a lot of health things, so it's going to be a little bit bigger of a change, if you want my opinion. But me and Lisa had already been thinking about these things and contemplating them and trying to apply other things in the past. But the problem was sticking with them.
Okay.
So when we got home, we just literally laid out, got out a piece of paper, pen, wrote it all down, and made a plan. Okay, this is what we're going to do at breakfast time. This is what we're going to do for lunches for the family, because Lisa's a stay-at-home mom. And then what I'm going to do for lunches when I'm at work. This is what our dinner plan was going to be. And then we, of course, incorporated in, we'll do the Metabo walk. We'll have our exercises this time of day.
You talked about sleep schedule.
Yep. And so knowing that you're going to start shutting it down about 8 o'clock at night. So you got to start slowing down the house, slowing down the pace.
Yeah.
And then getting the technology off, and then getting to bed and making sure you're getting some good sleep. Because that's huge.
Did you guys home gym? Do you guys have a gym that you go to? Do you have a personal trainer?
Okay, so that's a good question. So I had a personal trainer after I had an injury to my shoulder. I went and got a personal trainer, and that's where I started to realize some of it was my form and things like that. My process of working out. And then Lisa got a personal trainer at the same time, and that's helped her out tremendously. After I came here, one of your trainers, Ryan Lee, he's really, really good, and he laid out a whole plan for me. And so it was different from what my trainer was doing. And also what gets incorporated here is a lot of like care for your body after the workout. For example, stretching.
Yeah.
Now, my my personal trainer, I would say, is more of kind of like a meathead, and he would admit that himself.
Okay.
And so stretching wasn't a big part of his plan. So when I got back, I decided I'd try to do this without my trainer, but Lisa kept her trainer.
Okay.
And it's worked out really well. I've been able to follow the program and keep the training going, and follow the script, so to speak. And then for Lisa, on a personal level, for her, she needs to have the trainer.
Yeah.
Because she needs someone to push her. Where I'm a little bit more like, I'll just go do it on my own. I kind of push myself. The John Wayne thing.
Sure.
Right?
There you go.
John Wayne's going to get it done, right?
Yeah. Come
one
back
way,
to it.
one way or another. So I can push myself pretty good. So it's worked out really well. Me and Lisa have found that balance where she has her trainer. She can go during the day and have her workouts, and I try to squeeze mine in right kind of at the end of the day, so I can be home in time for the family and dinner and all that.
Make time for it.
Yep.
Is it a gym you guys go to?
Yeah, so we go to, it's called Genesis Gym in Tulsa. They have a bunch of gyms there. And we are actually building a home gym now, too.
Oh, cool.
Yep. I just finished up a building and got a 30 by 20 gym space. I put in all the rubber flooring. Kind of looks, it's going to be like a mini Skyterra, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm even getting similar racking and whatnot.
I was going to ask what kind of stuff are you getting?
Yeah.
Is it mostly a free weight gym? Is that what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I do want to get a cable machine.
Yeah.
Because I like doing
They're
the back
so
pulls and the
they're
lat
nice.
pulls and all that, because they're really good at the gym. So yeah, we'll equip it with all that stuff.
A couple of TRXs in there.
We already have a TRX now.
Yeah.
But yeah, TRX is great.
Yeah.
And once again, that's another thing. Like there's a million TRX exercises. So when you get the TRX, it gives you the poster, right? But the poster and having someone showing you how to do it are two different animals, my friend.
Yeah.
You
feel like a trapeze artist a little bit when you're in that thing.
And you could do a lot of that stuff wrong, This
Sure.
is back to my point, of just getting the education,
Mm-hmm.
getting fine-tuned or tuned in, or even just getting motivated to start. You can't lose. You come here, you invest the money, you invest some time into yourself. You will not regret it. You will not leave here going, man, I wish I never came.
Yeah.
You'll be glad you did.
Dave, anything else that you feel like the guys need to hear? Because you usually don't get a guy's perspective here.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a wellness center. Okay? It really is. And that means your whole mindset between, learning how to breathe and relax, learning how to work out properly, learning when to work out, learning how to work out, learning what to eat, looking at the way the kitchen sets up your meals, which are proportionate to your needs.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go home, you have a mental picture of okay, this is what I'm going to eat, and this is what the portions are going to look like. I'm telling you, men, you need to really think about, okay, you need to do this. If you're going to do it on your own, do it on your own. But but you're better off if you have a significant other. You and your significant other need to come. You won't regret it.
It's good advice.
Yep.
Good advice. Because you want to be around for those folks for as long as you possibly can.
You said it right there. And honestly, if you were to ask me right now, what is my number one motive? I want to be around for my kids and my grandkids, and I want to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be running around when I'm 80.
I
really do.
I can see it.
I do not want to be spending my retirement going back and forth to doctor visits.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to happen. Me and Lisa have a funny joke. We say, I'm not changing your diapers and you're not changing mine.
That's mindset.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
I could totally see you two saying that to each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Dave, thanks so much for coming on here and having this conversation. I think it's an angle that we don't often get a chance to just sit down and have a conversation about as guys. So I think there will be a lot of people that really appreciate this. And that aside, I really appreciate your vulnerability and honesty and how inspirational you and Lisa are and the way that you talk about her and your relationship and what you've done together. I think it is really inspirational.
Well, thanks.
It's cool to hear, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And hate Lisa couldn't be on here, but I've enjoyed it. So
Yeah, me too.
yeah, maybe when she's feeling better next time around, we can get both of you back on here.
Yeah, we can rope her in.
Cool. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. If you guys have questions for us, you know where to email us at inspiredintentions@skyterrawellness.com. If you got questions for me, any of the staff here, or even Dave, I can always get an email over to Dave if you have a question for him. But thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
All right. Thank you.
The Inspired Intentions podcast is a production of Skyterra Wellness Retreat. Special thanks to our executive producer, Alan Broyhill. Send us your questions and comments to inspiredintentions@skyterrawellness.com. Subscribe on iTunes and everywhere podcasts can be found. If someone you know might benefit from this podcast, share Inspired Intentions with them and give us a 5-star rating. Join us next week as we cut through the unrealistic noise on diets and fitness and show you how healthy living fits seamlessly into your already busy life. Thanks for listening.